All right, here we go. Here we go. Cycling through your life. Cycling through your life, episode 1111. Okay, this is us being consistent, coming through with the come through. All right, it's early in the morning as usual. And had some interesting conversations this weekend. They seemed different, but they were about the same thing. So we're gonna put the navigator on it and see what we come up with. Okay. So talking to a couple of my senior friends, they don't like to be referred to as senior friends, but they are. And one of them said she hadn't seen a friend in a while, and then his friend contacted her and told her that she was able to get all this information on her, right? All this information, including her apartment number, address, all this information. And I was like, yeah. So she said, I didn't know I was out there like that, huh? How could I get that? I said, you can get it scrubbed, but it's gonna cost you a lot of money. She says, like, oh, I can't believe it. And then the other conversation was about the news cycles and how everybody, not everybody, but it seems like everybody is on these whatever is hot news, okay, of course, everybody's talking about Charlie Kirk, and there's always the constant drumbeat of black men ain't shit, black women ain't shit, and everybody's got their sides and opinions, and the red pill movement, and the drizzles. Everybody's competing for your attention, but the way it's being done, as far as the navigator sees it, is they're appealing to emotions. They're appealing to your emotions, right? They get your emotions involved. The next thing you know, you're upset about something, or you caring about something that you don't even really affect your life, not even part of your real life. And the other part of that story is, let me see what's going on here. Let me pull it up a little bit. The other part of that story is these devices that we have, right? It creates a feedback loop. What I mean by that is, what you look at, you get back more. What you get back more, you look at, right? And so you create this environment for yourself, because this is how people are learning about the world. They're looking at their devices. They're getting their feeds on their social network or their whatever news network you look at. You're getting the news. That's an acronym for North, East, West, South, right? Information from the North, East, West, South. The news. So, as far as we know, this is what's happening. And this is what people are thinking about. But this is not what people are thinking about. This is what you are thinking about. Because it's coming back to you. You're creating this environment within this, what we're calling the black mirror, and we're getting information. Now, your people are yelling over here about this and yelling over here. Okay, so why am I talking about all this? Okay, I got into it a little fast, but this is the point. People in my demographic, they struggle with the technology. They struggle with the speed of everything, of information, and it's overwhelming. So some of us just shut it down. They just watch TV, or they just don't partake in it the way younger people do. Not as vigorous, not as energetic into it, right? But we do. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, some of us, we're on all kinds of stuff where we get information. And this information creates an environment, not out here in the real world, but inside in your head, right? And that environment in your head dictates how you feel in the real world. So if it's murder, kill, death, blood you're looking at, that's gonna be your world. If it's sex, drugs, rock and roll, that's gonna be how you see the world. If niggas ain't shit and bitches ain't shit, and this world is going to hell, and young people don't know what they're doing, and it's so crazy. And it's this latest one is Charlie Kirk, and everybody has to have an opinion on this guy that most people didn't even know or really even cared about if you weren't in that world. His world of the I guess you would call it nouveau white supremacist. I don't know, that's what I would say. I don't know if that's what it is. That's my impression. Even from what I've heard of him, there's some things that he said that doesn't bother me. There's some things that he said that's kind of like, it seemed like it was said to create emotional reactions, right? They want people to react to it, so his name will rise in the algorithm. And that's what people do now. For people who don't know or not into this kind of social networking, if you can hook up to whatever is hot in the algorithm, like if I put Charlie Kirk in my name or in my headline for this video, it'll attach itself to the wave of what's going on. So when somebody who's looking at that kind of stuff, my stuff might come up just because it has that name attached to it, right? If I have a thing about single mothers, let's say, or whatever, and how my opinion on single mothers, blah, 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 it'll get hooked up to that stream of algorithm, and therefore more people might be drawn to my videos, right? So a lot of times I think these people that do these podcasts, they don't care one way or the other, but they want you to care, and they want you to boost them in this virtual space that we call. So the thing is, they don't care what you think. They care what you think about. There you go. They don't care what you think. They care what you think about. So whether you're pro this guy or anti this guy, or you have all these feelings and emotions about this, they don't care. They want you focused on that. It's not what you think, it's what you think about. They don't care what you think, they care what you think about, right? And the thing about these news cycles or these information cycles, they're so quick. Everybody is so hopped up over whatever just happened, right? And 2 weeks from now, they're on to something else. They're not even thinking about all this emotion and energy that was put into the last hot topic, right? Just as an aside, the same day I think that Charlie Kirk was viciously murdered in front of our eyes, there was another school shooting not too far. Nobody cared. It's not that nobody cared. They didn't want you to think about that. They were riding this wave of this other person. So what am I saying? What am I talking about? It's very important to not get caught up in these waves of information. It's direction, it's misdirection, it's getting you caught up into a loop, right? It's creating this virtual space inside your head where they want you to think about this. Not only do they want you to think about it, they want you to care about it. I remember the Black Lives Matter movement, right? And how much space that was occupying in my head, in the heads of everybody around. Everybody was pro or con, it was newspeak for black people. Black Lives Matter, oh my God, And people all over the city, all over the country, they had their little signs, and everybody, black, white, everybody. There was more, it was just people rallying and in the streets, and that whole summer, it was just Black Lives Matter, blah, 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 blah. And by September, it was done. It kind of lingered. It was done. And the next thing we know, the people who organized Black Lives Matter were kind of shady. They weren't really into Black Lives Matter. They weren't into it. But they were riding the wave. They were the wave. They created the wave. And in today's society, that attention equals money. It equals money. So it's not what you think, it's what you think about. That's the point. So how do we navigate this high velocity information age? High velocity, it's like the algorithms seem to have a life of their own. They have a rhythm of their own. It doesn't care. It's an inanimate thing, It's virtual, meaning it's inside its numbers and equations, but they work a specific way. And the more you hook yourself into that, like you feel good when your favorite podcaster says something that you really like, and you're really into this person or this personality, that's may or may not be real. Most times it's just designed to get you to think about them or think about what subject they keep harping on. And when that subject dies down, or things, or the algorithm switches to something else, they switch. They're going for the likes. They're going for the dopamine hits. They're going for the attention that you bring. Attention equals money. So it's not all bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not all bad, but it is what it is. And for people in my demographic, it seems like things are moving really fast, really, really, really fast. And I guess it is. But maybe things aren't moving fast. Maybe you're just moving slow. Maybe you're just slowing down. That's why I think it's so important that you have interests, things that interest you, that come from you, not given to you, not implanted in you, right? Family, things that people used to care about, their loved ones, their garden, their neighbor, and the other guy says the cat down the road. They're things that people used to care about, that came from them, that was natural. That's all it's been, or I don't know, to say that it's been doing it, it just implies that maybe there's somebody up there switching these buttons. And I'm not saying that there is, but I'm not saying that there's not. But we have gone into these virtual spaces and got stuck there. Some of us are just stuck there, Like, the real world is less important than the virtual world. What's going on inside that black mirror seems to be more important than what's going on next door or outside your door or even inside your own apartment. Sometimes people live in the same apartment and they're experiencing two separate realities based on what they're being fed and what they're feeding and what they're clicking on and what they're looking at and what they're interested in, or what they're thinking about. So the counter to that, how we navigate that, is developing a self for yourself, right? Sometimes, if you haven't been doing it, this hit me when I retired. I realized, man, who the hell am I? What have I been doing for 26 years? Who is this guy? Is this what he dreamed for himself? To give the sweet part of my life to some company? Is that it? That's what it's all about? For men, they say, yeah. We work, that's what we do. We don't complain, we just work. Yeah. But beyond that, you have to have a self to counterbalance these influences that's coming at us. You have to be able to look at it and say, I don't give a fuck about that. You have to be able to look at something and say, hey, yeah, that seems like interesting in a way, but I'm gonna go out here and take a walk, or I'm gonna go meet my friend for a drink, or I'm gonna, go talk to a real person about real shit, something that may affect my life for real, I might go read a book or go look something up, use AI to get some information about something that I'm interested in, So, the technology, that's why, it seems like it's an entity. It is an entity. It's becoming like a thing that you could point to in the virtual space and say, yeah, that's that algorithm. I seen him. He came through yesterday and got me thinking about this shit that I didn't even know nothing about the day before. And now I'm mad about it. So, yeah, that's how it be going, yo. It's not what you think. It's what you think about. Right? They don't care what you think. They care what you think about. So that's the long and the short of it for this morning. I just had to get that out of me. It's the 11, the 1, the master number. So yeah, we think about that this beautiful Sunday morning. It's out here being beautiful, yo. Yeah, it's nice day. So yeah, that's cycling through. That's cycling through my life, cycling through your life. And if you watch this and you like it, tell somebody. Tell somebody. There's that share thing at the bottom there. You hit that, and then you can copy the link, and you can just send the link to them, and they can click on it and get to see it also. And leave a message. Now, tell me what you'd be thinking about. Let me know what you think about. Whether it's organic or whether it's manufactured. What do you think about your own thoughts? Let me know. Come on back. We can navigate it together. Or do more stuff on it. So yeah, that's my spiel for the morning. I hope it made some kind of sense. I don't know. I was rambling a little bit, but yeah. Cycling through your life. This is me, the navigator, and I'll see you next time.